Bakhodone Jeyurkache Lemata de Kodana Habekina Chetli Tumiana Hene Amahaloko
We stand all together, one voice saying yes we can. Each one, reach one till we pull ourselves up, cause we all one fam. From the rest to the block, to the Perry, to the Rock, we connect that love. Cause the people with power feel the power of the people when we stand as one.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be indigenous, you heard of us. Max Heaven, the murderer, spreading the love with the water and earth. And the stand against hate, gotta know what the purpose is. We rise, the climate is changing, the signs of the times. It's time to start praying. Pray for the world and community. Prayers are more powerful when we're in unity.
What I know, we are one. What I know, no, we are one.
Woke up today, hungry for a change, new path to take. Can't stay the same, it's been too long. Pointing out who's right or wrong, can you hear me out? All we need is a little bit of love. Take time to heal and it starts with us. Hand in hand, I put my trust. In one world, reunite, it's a must. Hold on to hope, we can overload. We can break the code with a single note. Sing out for the world to hear that our time is now, no more for tears. I looked into my son's eyes, a new day in a new light. Lift the veil and dwell so peaceful. Come together, one world, one people.
What I know, we are one. What I know, no, we are one. It's who you are, it's who I am. We all bleed the same blood, yeah. Hey. We all bleed the same blood, yeah.
We got beautiful differences, let me give you a peek. Over 500 tribes, but we all unique. And if we could not compete to eat, nothing could beat us. Jealousy is more dangerous than diabetes. See this unity? Imagine what it looked like. You would think we would do whatever it took, right? I would do anything for this good life. We could do anything if we unite. Come on.
Young native, you are my savior. Say your prayer for our inspiration. From the block to your reservation. Any color, all my relations. From the basement, worldwide invasion. Every day we're painting our faces. Fighting back but learning our language. Dancing our dances, saying our prayers.
What I know, we are one. What I know, no, we are one. We only got one world. We only got one world. We only got one world. Hey. All we got is one voice, one choice, one earth, one love, one birth. We like to live. We like to live, yeah.
One people, we stand all together, one voice saying yes we can. Each one, reach one till we pull ourselves up, cause we all one fam. From the rest to the block, to the Perry, to the Rock, we connect that love. Cause the people with power feel the power of the people when we stand as one.
What I know, we are one. What I know, no, we are one.
Hamahologo, Hayo Jonego, Hamahologo, Hayo Jonego, Hayo Jonego, Nabe Hajoli, Yanahene, Hamahologo, Hamahologo, Hayo Jonego, Hayo Jonego.
Welcome to the 2021 school year graduation, Sherman Indian High School. I'm your principal, Dr. Funston Whiteman. I'm from Sealing, Oklahoma. I want to welcome all our fellow graduates. I want to welcome our students. I want to welcome our dignitaries, tribal leaders, community members, and all their families and friends represented.
Hi, my name is Christopher Jones. I am from St. Carlos, Arizona. I'm St. Carlos Apache. I would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance in Apache. Narikat Lekiji Basizi, United States of America. Darasli ine ba'aza, Pike koinan, Bishekashe, Dan Glinihi, Dashla Antigo, Dohadini Tetago, Dohadin Bisnan Dauglikora, Shlae, Danua, Noyate, Ligo.
Hi, my name is Nina Ayala. I'm from Shiprock, New Mexico, and I will be singing the Star Spangled Banner in the Diné language. So here goes. Yashodanolehi Hayol Kalvieta Banawini Kata Danatayang on a hit no doors, don't be on the sauce. Nabayitaya Bitahuni Yagodenatha Nijin Dan Banalini Ahot Ago Beninida Bahadin Dahalonde Eya better see her sing Tone hadas and tones in there Toshi a so bisanilko Danata ahul ado Nehekeya biki again Kadhojo Nahazi. Thank you.
At this time, I want to go ahead and introduce our next speaker who will be giving our blessing, Mr. Gary Keene. He is from the Acoma, Pueblo, and Navajo people. Thank you.
Uati, sheneme waya aisle waya station. Diame hanus station. Aku me hanus. Ina wa tawa e hauba. Sheneme zekana waya aisle. Diame hanus. Aku me. Amu o sheneme drukas tatsema. Stamut stama akutemish. I was asked to do the opening prayer for the ceremony. I will do this in my language and in English so that you all understand, because not everybody is Acoma and not all of you understand Acoma. As I do my prayer, I want you to help me. I want you in your own way to pray for your young one. Because if it wasn't for them accomplishing all what has happened all this time, and now they've come to the end of one trail and starting new ones. So if you will, please, in your own way, in your own language, Amen. Please join me. Help me. Because it's not for us. It's for them. Help us guide them. Help us bless them. Help us give strength to them. Because out there, it is not easy. It can be mean. It can be hateful. There are roadblocks out there that they have to come up against and go around and go through. So we must give them the strength through prayer, through ceremony, through songs, using sweetgrass, sage, cedar, cornmeal, tadadine, yellow corn pollen. Yes, we're all different people. We're all different tribes. But yet, we are the same. We are all one people. We are all children of Mother Earth. So with that in mind, Gaime, let's begin for them. Hitna na nashtietsayayut, Gaime Hawaii. Amoshirame trukas tatsem a aku me hanatu waikusti to hooten, it's at a hooten. It's extamut, kaukini, stama akutem, stamut temish intanut. Wa dawa amu. Nine nashti it's a yut, Gaime Hawaii. Hawaii ma zik, stamut, stama akutemish. Itna nine nashti it's a yut. Watawa and Amun. Nashti it's a youth. Grandfather, grandmother, please come with us and help us. Guide our children. For when they go on their journey, they make it a good journey. That they are strong and that they have good mind, good spirit, good heart. To chase all their dreams, to make them come true. Give them the strength, grandfather, grandmother, to make us proud. Give them the strength to make good decisions so that we as parents don't have to worry too much. Help them, guide them, protect them. Because we love them. Help them. Help them make good decisions. Help them be strong. Help them not to forget who they are, where they come from. Help them to remember all those who were standing beside them, giving them advice, giving them strength, giving them inspiration, so that they can remember and go in a good way. Give them the strength so that we don't have to worry for them, that we don't have to worry too much. Because as parents, that's what we do. Send them with songs, send them with prayers, send them with ceremonies so that wherever it is that they go in a good way, making us proud. Not forgetting who they are, where they come from. Help them, help them achieve all their dreams, all their hopes, all the things that they want in their heart for their family, for their village, for their ceremonies, that they carry them to give them strength, because some of those tests are going to be hard. They're going to be tall, they're going to be wide, they're going to be thick, but yet we have to give them the strength to pass through all those things. Gaime, Please. There are so many things we don't know, so many things we don't understand. Watch over them, take care of them and protect them. Make us proud that they are our children, that they are people representing our village, our homes, our families. So many things are out there that can distract them. Give them the strength to see through all of that, to see all the goodness that is out there and to embrace it, not to be afraid of it. Watch over all the ones who helped them get this far. Those of you that are graduating, thank those who helped you. Give them a hug, because they didn't have to do it, but they did it. There are so many things. Be proud. You've accomplished a lot. You've come this far. How puna, how dynamitic, nagamitic, the always looking. Gaime est ama akutemes, the mutitemes, neke bar me. Be careful on your journey. Be brave and be strong in your efforts to make us proud. Now, I am honored and I am so proud of all of you. This COVID has tested us as people, as Native people. But yet we come out at the end. We still stand strong. We still sing our songs. We still say our prayers. Be careful when you go out there. Be an example for all those ones that are following you, that are looking at you. Show them that you can be able to be a good example, if not for them, for your family, for your village, for your home. Don't ever just go out there and think nobody cares about you, nobody loves you. We do. I was told that there is a key ceremony. I asked, what does this key represent? It's a passage from the seniors to the juniors for them to grow mentally, physically, spiritually as they go through their journey, finishing their journey of school. And I asked, what is on this key? They said there are ribbons on there. And what I've been told, the class chooses the color of the ribbon and the class flower. And I thought, why not add an eagle feather? Because this is an Indian school. There are native students from all over. I asked, why can't we add an eagle feather? Because this eagle feather represents and is used by every single tribe. There is not a tribe that does not use it and think of it highly. And I thought, why can't we add to this key, this eagle feather? As a blessing for all the ones who are coming up after the seniors leave, to bless them with the flight of knowledge, to bless them with the strength of knowing who they are, where they come from, so that it represents pride in those things. So from my family, me and my son, Tsananaka, Noah, we are gifting the school an eagle feather. It will be blessed. I myself, if not with my son, by myself, will deliver this eagle feather to the school. It's time for a change. So I want that tradition of inspiration to continue for all the kids that are coming. There's more. They're coming. We need to make sure that they are proud of who they are, where they come from, for their songs, their prayers, all those things. We cannot just let it go. So in that sense, that is what's going to happen. In the meantime, Gaime, please, be brave and be strong in your efforts, in your journey, wherever it is that takes you. Go on.
Join me in welcoming this year's keynote speaker, Miss Valerie Butterbrant, class of 2010.
Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021 at Sherman Indian High School. I want to start by acknowledging that a little over a year ago, all of our lives were turned upside down by COVID-19. Our everyday lives have been affected by this pandemic, from individuals losing jobs to losing loved ones. As we move forward, I pray you have all found peace and strength during these times. For each Sherman student that is graduating today, know that you're a part of the 65% of Native American students that will graduate from high school. For our Native communities, only 14.5% of students will earn a bachelor's degree, while 4.8% will obtain a master's degree, and less than 1% will get a PhD. Despite these statistics, we shouldn't let it define us. College is only one way to be successful. This is only one path of success. There are so many paths out there, like raising a family, trade school, construction, real estate, barber and cosmetology licensing, and even developing our own businesses. Don't let society determine what you should be passionate about, and you need to choose your own path of success. In 2010, I decided to attend Sherman Indian High School, primarily because I was looking for a stable environment. As a teenager, I was overwhelmed with having to take on a lot of responsibility before I was ready. The summer before my senior year, I was working with the Bishop Paiute tribe and using my checks to pay for bills like trash, propane, electricity, and water. I used to have to find a ride to pick up my commods for my household, and I soon realized I was not going to be able to buy running shoes for my cross country and track, nor attend any of the out-of-town meets my senior year. Growing up, I lacked parental supervision, and I remember failing the first 3 to 4 weeks of my senior year on purpose. Keep in mind, I was an A student. They say when a plane is going down, you have to put your mask on first so that you can breathe, before you can help someone else. My goal was to make sure that I was okay, and then help my family, community, and friends. I finally asked my mom to let me go to Sherman Indian High School. Sherman gave me a place to be a kid and to meet Native students from all across the United States. I remember being so happy when I found that Sherman gave students free athletic shoes for sports. Sherman provided me with many of my first opportunities that I would have never experienced. For example, we went to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, Six Flags with my cross-country team, LA Galaxy Native American Heritage Night soccer game, my first baseball game, my first pro basketball game, my first pro hockey game at the Staples Center, and lastly, Balboa Beach. We're a Sherman family across classes and years, and I keep in contact with many of the students that I've met throughout the years, and I've seen their successes and watched their families grow, and I'm very proud to be a Sherman alumni. After high school, I went on to get my bachelor's in political science from the University of California, Merced. Looking back, I wish I had gotten a business degree because I could have applied that degree to any field I was passionate about. In the first few years of college, I suffered from culture shock because of the lack of Native community at UC Merced. I didn't attend my first year orientation due to lack of funding, and I didn't live on campus because UC Merced did not have enough student housing. My first semester GPA was a 1.42 GPA. I should have been academically dismissed my first year. I was depressed and I felt like a failure because I'd lost all of my scholarships. However, we're all facing with forks in the road. I call these defining moments in our lives. I had several options, many of which meant walking away from completing my degree. Instead, I chose to fight and work hard at getting my GPA up to a 2.0, which was the minimum requirement to get my scholarships back and off of academic probation. I want you to know, even if you make the wrong choice and you go down the wrong path, there's always the opportunity to make it back onto the right path. Yet, the more wrong choices you make, the harder it is to come back. I worked hard by going to tutoring hours and going to my professor's office hours. I never went on academic probation again, nor lost any of my scholarships because of academic failure. I worked in Washington, D.C. for a little over 2.5 years with the National American Indian Housing Council. I was presented with the opportunity to assist in the Asset Building Conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 2017, where I met the former executive director, from the Catherine M. Booter Center with Washington University in St. Louis. She discussed the possibility of going back to graduate school to get my master's degree. I applied and got in the following year on a full ride. My first year of graduate school, I lived in St. Louis. I was pregnant with my daughter, and I gave birth 6 weeks before the semester was over. I still maintained a 3.69 GPA, even though I was faced with pregnancy discrimination and a lack of support. I took a year off to recover from pregnancy and to be a mom. When I returned in the fall of 2020, I had discovered I'd lost my scholarship after being insured in writing. I would not. I spoke up and began to voice my opinion, and Washington University in St. Louis decided to honor my scholarship that I had lost. I went back the second year remotely due to COVID-19, and I managed to do it with spotty internet, limited daycare for my 2-year-old, and I'm pregnant with my second child. I received a 3.8 GPA my fall semester, a 4.0 GPA my final semester, and I worked 15 to 25 hours a week from my home office, and I'm proud to say I graduate this May with my master's in social work. People ask me every day, how do I do it? My advice is self-care and self-discipline. I get up 2 hours before I need to be awake every day. I do it to give myself time to get ready for the day, cook breakfast, drink coffee, and enjoy a bit of silence before my morning starts. It has not always been easy. Every single thing I've ever done in my entire life has been super hard. As Native people, we're historically disadvantaged and faced with many barriers. But it's up to us not to let the door shutting in our face stop us from achieving more. I've been told no. I've been told I can't do something, or someone tries to block me from accomplishing my goals. I didn't let them define what I was capable of doing. Sherman, class of 2021, you are going to have your own struggles and your own pushback. And if you keep pushing through those struggles, it does get better. If you don't give up, no matter how hard or how dark and how bad it gets, you have to keep pushing on. because you can get stuck in that dark spot. But if you keep pushing through it and you push a little more and you put a little time in, and you'll get through it and you will accomplish those goals. I know how cliche this may sound, but it's so true. My advice is to surround yourself with 5 people you aspire to be like, because those 5 people will be who you will act like. If you're faced with a fork in the road, like going to college, write a pros and cons list to go to college and a pros and cons list not to go to college, or for any decision you want to make in life. And lastly, you're the only person who is going to be able to motivate you. I once heard it this way: not everyone is meant to climb the mountain with you. Some people are going to stop at the 10,000 base camp, some at the 20,000 base camp, while you continue on to the top. It is not that you forget the people, but some of the people can only go so far with you on your journey to your own success. You may have to leave behind family or friends, but the purpose is to do so to do what makes you happy, and to find people who will support you throughout your whole journey and not just bits and pieces. We need to be the change that we want to see. Our ancestors sacrificed a lot for us to be here today. We are no less Native American if we live on the reservation or in urban cities. It is our turn to create the change we want to see. We can't just complain about it, and we have to understand that we are more powerful united than divided. The Standing Rock, No Dapple movement has proven this. We need to revitalize and bring our communities forward. I strive to be the parent and person I always wanted. I strive to offer my children more and to give them the resources that they need to be successful. I broke the cycle of trauma, and I'm doing so by raising the next generation. If you don't give up, you'll succeed because you'll have limitless potential. Again, congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. You did it.
Join me in welcoming 2 very special ladies in the Sherman community is our counselors, Mrs. Carlene Clifford and Mrs. Stephanie McMorris.
Thank you for joining us. We want to thank the parents, we want to thank grandparents, aunts and uncles for being part of your student success. We're not here in person, and this auditorium would be filled with all family members. Everybody would be here. But we're going to do the next big thing, but we do want to thank you for choosing Sherman and continuing the legacy of your family. It's not been easy to have your students away from you for so long, but we know that it was a personal decision. It's a hard decision to have your student go away to school, and we take that to heart, and we know that we give them the best that we can give them, knowing that their care is in our hands. So thank you again for attending this graduation ceremony. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We'd also like to thank the tribal education departments that have been there with the kids since they were pre-kindergarten. This is such an important day and an important celebration for you as well. And we'd like to also thank the tribal dignitaries that would have been here today. And we're all in this together. And it's been like this through the whole year. So we want to give special recognition to them. And thank you.
And now we would like to introduce students, our seniors that have been here for 4 years. We'd also like to announce the winner of our alumni scholarship for $2,500, and that is Coriana Yo.
Congratulations. And it is my pleasure to introduce our salutatorian, Trucelle Calabaza. She is from the Pueblo of Santo Domingo. She's been here at Sherman for 4 years. And now we are going to go live to the Pueblo of Santo Domingo.
Yashtana Sutta, Agoretz Meese, Giva Meel Sutta. Good morning to the class of 2021, friends, family, and staff. Thank you all for tuning in to watch as we celebrate one of our many accomplishments in our lives. My name is Trishal Calabaza, and I am from the Pueblo of Santo Domingo, New Mexico. I am honored to be this year's class of 2021 salutatorian. As I am here delivering this speech, I am reminiscing about the time I have spent at Sherman Indian High School and my entire educational journey, as they have been the best and sometimes the worst of life's experiences. Let's go back to the beginning, shall we? No, I'm not talking about the first day of high school, but rather the first day of kindergarten. We were all about 5 years old, and some of us thought school was the best thing in the whole wide world. With the endless singing of songs, coloring pages, recesses, snack times, and naps. While some of us loved school, others hated it and the thought of leaving day after day for hours without seeing mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa scared them the most. In a blink of an eye, it was time for us to grow up. Soon we were all walking through the doors of our new school. Elementary school, or as I would call it, the big kid school. Little did we know it wouldn't be as much fun as kindergarten was. There would be no more endless nap times, recesses, or singing of songs. But you know what we did have? We had school parties, birthday parties, holiday parties, pizza parties, you name it. However, despite all the parties, the school days seemed to have gotten longer and more boring. Day after day, we were taught many different things about many different subjects. This knowledge was then stored in our brains and has created a foundation that has helped us through our educational journey. After the endless wishing of growing up, we started middle school, while some of us started junior high, the halfway point of graduation. This was then when we started to realize that things were about to get complicated. A yearly schedule was handed to each of us containing 8 different teachers' names, classroom numbers, a locker number, and a combo. The looking of teachers' classroom names and numbers began. Here we were taught about time management, essays, reports, and worst of all, class presentations. School got harder and harder for each and every one of us, but that didn't stop us, for we only had 4 more years to go. After 3 long years of middle school, or for some of you, 2 long years of junior high, promotion rolled in. We were officially becoming high school students. Here we made the decision of where we hoped to receive a diploma from. Some knew in their heart where they wanted to go, while some were still unsure. But it's okay no matter what path you chose to take. We're all here now, graduating as Sherman's class of 2021. We were all new at one point, riding through the gates of Sherman, most of us strangers to one another, well, for me at least. Everywhere I looked, there was a different person from another pueblo, tribe, or state I've never been to, but hey, what can I say? I've only been to 3. The campus looked big at first glance, but as the years passed, it got smaller and smaller. It didn't matter though, because those strangers we rode in with would soon become family. New students always came and went, making new friends, creating memories, leaving a mark, transferring and graduating here. Who knew this pandemic would have happened and our time at Sherman would soon be cut short after a few months of being juniors? It's been a year unlike any other, where hope felt far away for the class of 2021. Our bedrooms were transformed into our daily classrooms. There was no last first day, No more plane flights with layovers, no hugging and seeing our friends on campus. Our mail deliverers became our friends, and the post offices became a frequent stop. Paper packages of work stacked what looked miles high at the table. You couldn't just raise your hand for help anymore. Instead, you had to wait hours, sometimes even a day, for a reply on your question. Laptops were soon sent out, and paper packages were the least of our worries. However, now the internet was an issue, and the 11:59 p.m. deadline became our worst enemy, but that didn't stop us. When the universe changed the way we learned, we said, okay. And when the world said, keep your distance, you selflessly put yourself aside for the greater good of humanity. We've worked so hard for this despite the adversity at every single corner. Yes, we might not be having the in-person graduation we all hoped for. All those years ago, and walking across the stage with the diploma in our hands like the many other graduating classes before us. Throwing our hats up, taking pictures with our staff, family, and friends, but we're still graduating. Graduating into a world that needs us now more than ever. With that being said, I would like to recognize the following. To all the school staff at Sherman Indian High School, thank you for the wonderful opportunities and knowledge you've taught us throughout the years. Thank you to home living staff for making campus a place that I call a second home. To the rec staff, thank you for the many laughs, food, events, trips, and just listening to us talk. To the underclassmen, COVID-19 will not stand in your way of your hopes and dreams. Things will improve, and as they do, so will you. Don't lose hope and faith in yourself. You've only got a few more years to go, and maybe by the time you graduate, you'll get the in-person graduation that the class of 2021 wished for. To my family, thank you for the encouragement and advice you've given me throughout all my school years, for pushing me this far into my educational journey, to receiving my diploma, and for showing me I could do anything I put my head and heart to. Lastly, to my fellow classmates of 2021, can you believe it? We actually made it to graduation day, even with the pandemic. Thank you all for the everlasting memories throughout the years. Your story is not over yet. Your dedication, determination, and commitment still remain true. We entered the gates of Sherman as kids. Now we leave Sherman through a screen as adults. Although not all of us may have been here for all 4 years, I'm glad to not only call you all my classmates, but my family as well. May you all do wonderful things in your journey of life and know that you can achieve anything you put your heart and mind to. The end of one thing is the start of another, as another chapter of our lives closes and the next opens. May you all write amazing chapters in your lives. I would like to end my speech with a quote by Gary Boulding. Your families are extremely proud of you. You can't imagine the sense of relief they are experiencing. This will be a most opportune time to ask for money. Just kidding. Okay, now for the actual speech by Paulo Coelho. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. Thank you, and again, congratulations to the class of 2021. We did it.
I'd like to introduce our valedictorian. This year, it's Coriana Yo. She's been at Sherman for 3 years. She plans on attending Weber State University in Utah to complete her general ed and pre-med studies before entering medical school. Coriana is from the Navajo Nation. Let's go live now to the Navajo Nation.
Yate she'e Coriana yo Yanisha, bits athni nishlit, Lakota of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, Bushishchin, Ashinhit Dashache, Lakota of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, Dashanellit, Tisyashlanet de Nasha. Good afternoon, teachers, family, friends, and especially the class of 2021. My name is Coriana Yo, and I'm from Valley Shore, Arizona. My mother is Karina Yo, who is Navajo, and my father is Brad Dupree Sr., who is a Lakota of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. I am the first in my family to have attended Sherman Indian High School for 3 years. So for my freshman year, I spent it at Chinle High School, where I live near. In my opinion, Sherman was a good school. I went on plenty of trips for fun and even for educational purposes. In the dorms, I made really great friends who were there for me when I needed them, and some dorm staff who were also very helpful and nice. I'm thankful I had my friends by my side, and it was always great when we would encourage each other in school or make each other laugh. I'm thankful for my mom, who was the main one to push me when I felt like I wanted to give up. I'm also thankful for my grandparents and other brothers and sisters who supported me. A dorm staff member I'm thankful for is Jerry, because throughout the school year, she would check up on me to see how I'm doing in school. Finally, I'm thankful for Julia Stewart, who is a student at Pitzer College, because she helped me with writing and, most importantly, applying for colleges and scholarships. They all believed in me so much, so I needed to learn to believe in myself. So I did learn to believe in myself. And now I'm valedictorian. I'm graduating. I made everyone in my family proud. And now I want to continue to make them all proud as I go on in my education. I honestly didn't think I would be valedictorian because no one else in my family was, and my family is pretty big. It was always just a thought I had ever since I was in middle school. Although because of this thought, I strive to get the best grades I could, even though I might not be selected. So once the pandemic hit and senior year started online, I feared for my grades and I started to give up on the idea of being valedictorian and started to work harder just so I could graduate. Then in the last semester of my senior year, I got an email saying I was a candidate. I was very happy, and when I heard I was elected this Saturday, I was beyond excited because what I once thought would only come true in my mind happened to me in real life. I'm really proud of everyone graduating today, whether you believe me or not. The reason I'm so proud is because we had a hard time as seniors. Everything was online because of COVID. Due to this, every day started to seem repetitive by waking up for classes, signing on to Google Classroom, Edgenuity, or other platforms, having homework, completing it with not much help, then turning it in. The hardest part, in my opinion, was trying to deal with home life and still do school. I know that some students had harder times than others, but we got through it. A pandemic didn't stop us from wanting to graduate. All those late nights of staying up to turn in an assignment on time was hard, and stressing over the amount of work we got, and we couldn't ask for help as easily. Now that we are all able to get through all the difficulties, today we finally become Sherman Indian High School graduates. Graduation is one of the few big celebrations in our lives, so I really wish we were able to see our friends, teachers, and dorm staff one last time. We get to continue on our own separate paths for the future once we're done. As I was growing up, I liked to see every grade as a new chapter in life. This means we're on the 12th chapter of our life. So far, it's crazy to me how elementary and middle school seemed like forever, but high school passed by like everyone would say. We didn't believe them, but now I think they were right. In a way, I'm glad high school is over because now we get to deal with what life has been waiting to throw at us for so long. This may sound scary to some and could sound great to others because some of us have an idea of what our next chapter will be. But just know it's alright if you don't know what your next chapter is. Just remember not to give up on it. You're going to want to because it is easier to give up. But instead, if you feel like it's all getting too much, take a moment to catch your breath and start again, even if it's starting all over. You have gotten so far, so don't give up. Things take time, and who knows, you'll do better than before. After all these years of school, it's either going to get so much harder or easier. It's up to you now, because now you have to decide every other new chapter to come. You have to write your story on how you want it to continue on. The first 12 chapters were somewhat easier because it had a layout, and we knew that once we reached the end of this chapter, we graduated. So what happens after that? I want to believe that it's up for you to decide, and I hope you make the next chapter of your lives memorable and great. Once again, I'm happy and proud that we did it. Congratulations, class of 2021. Yay!
Before I turn the graduation over to Dr. Whiteman, I want to again thank the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and the brothers and sisters, the cousins, and the tribal education departments, the tribal councils, and the governors and our school board for getting our students to this point. I'm standing here in our auditorium, the Robert Levi Auditorium, and I'm looking out into the audience, and I'm envisioning you sitting here and watching and seeing our graduates, and what a proud moment it is for all of us. We know how important graduation is in Indian country, and I'm so glad that you're here to celebrate it with us for the class of 2021.
So congratulations, and here to Dr. Whitman.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of California, the Bureau of Indian Education, and our presiding school board members, I hereby, Dr. Funston Whiteman, confer upon each of you the degree earned with all its rights, honors, and responsibilities, your high school diploma. Congratulations, seniors.
Before I turn the graduation over to Dr. Whiteman, I want to again thank the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and the brothers and sisters, the cousins, and the tribal education departments, the tribal councils, and the governors and our school board for getting our students to this point. I'm standing here in our auditorium, the Robert Levi Auditorium, and I'm looking out into the audience, and I'm envisioning you sitting here and watching and seeing our graduates, and what a proud moment it is for all of us. We know how important graduation is in Indian country, and I'm so glad that you're here to celebrate it with us for the class of 2021.
So congratulations, and here to Dr. Whitman.
Fellow Sherman alum, Sherman Braves, school board members, tribal dignitaries, leaders, friends and family, join me in saying farewell to our graduating seniors. Seniors, you are a Sherman Brave. You are always welcome to your campus. Congratulations and thank you.
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away.